Hello everyone. Welcome to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will discuss some practice questions from logical reasoning. Now, before we start this chapter, let me revise the concepts that you would need to answer such questions. The first concept is to know the difference between odd and even numbers. So you know that odd and even numbers basically means that the numbers in which the digits, that is your last digit, or you can also call it your unit place digit, ends with certain number. So in case of odd, it ends with 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. And in case of even numbers, it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. Then you should know what are prime numbers. So prime numbers are numbers whose factors are 1 and the number itself. And you should know at least the prime numbers between 1 to 100. Okay. So between 1 to 100, there are 25 prime numbers. So what are your prime numbers? 2, 3, 5, 7, and then 11, 13, 17, 19 and so on. These are your prime numbers. Then you should know the squares and square roots of at least 1 to 30. You can also increase it up to 40 with time. So 1 to 30 you should know in the beginning. So 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16 and so on. So if you see a number, let's say if you see 225, okay, you should be able to say that the under root of 225 will be 15. Correct? If you see a number 729, you should be able to say that the under root of 729 will give me 27. Then you should also know the cubes. 1 to 20 for beginning, 1 to 15 or 20, or you can also increase it with time. So what are cubes? 1 cube is 1. Similarly, 2 cube is 8. 3 cube is 27. 4 cube is 64. 5 cube is 125 and so on. So if you see a number, let's say 1331, you should be able to tell that okay, the cube root of 1331 will be 11. Similarly, if you see a number like 1728, you should be able to tell okay, the cube root of 1728 is 12. So this much information you should retain. Now there are two numbers 64 and 729 which are both perfect squares and perfect cubes. So 64 and 729 are numbers which are both perfect squares and perfect cubes. What do you mean by that? 64 is the square of 8 as well as it is the cube of 4. Similarly, 729 is the square of 27 as well as the cube of 9. So these two numbers are both perfect squares and perfect cubes. So this much information is required to solve questions on logical reasoning. Now let us look at question number 1. So if I look at question number 1, there are 4 options given to us. And we have to identify the one that is different. So 3 of these 4 options are similar. They have a similar pattern. Correct? And we have to find the odd one out. That means we have to find the one that is different. Okay? So now if I look at option number 1, if I sum these up, 2 plus 8 plus 3 plus 4. So 8 plus 2 is 10 and 10 plus 3 plus 4, 7. So it is 17, which is 1 less. This is minus 1, then 18. Now let us look at option number 2. So 8 plus 6 plus 7 plus 1. So 6 plus 1 is 7, 7 plus 7 is 14 and 14 plus 8 will give me 22. So these are the same. So either this logic will apply or this logic will apply in the majority of the options. So let us look at option number 4. We have 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 7. So 7 plus 3 gives me 10, and 10 plus 4 plus 2, 16. So it will be 16. So these are the same. Now let us look over here, 9, 8, 7, 6 and 30. So 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6. So 9, this is 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 7 is 21 and 21 plus 9 is 30. So these are also same. So I can see in option number 2, 3 and 4, we are getting this digit as the sum of these digits. Sum of these digits is equal to this number. But over here in option number 1, that is not the case. Therefore, option number 1 will be the correct answer. This will be the odd one out. Okay. Now let us look at question number 2. Question number 2, again 4 options are given to us and we have to identify which one is the odd one out. Now if I look at option number 1, 25 under root will give me 5. And if I add 3 into it, it will give me 8. Correct? Similarly, if I look at option number 2, I can see that under root of 169 will give me 13. And if I add 3 into it, I'll get 16. So if I call this A and I call this B, I can see that under root of A plus 3 is giving me B. This logic is correct for option number 1 as well as option number 2. Now let me see for option number 3. So for option number 3, 225 under root will be equals to 15. So 15 plus 3 will give me 18, but here we have a different number. Now let us check for option number 4. Under root of 64 will give me 8, and if I add 3 into it, I'll get 11. So option number 1, 2 and 4 follow this logic. They follow this logic, but option number 3 is different. Therefore, option number 3 is the odd one out. Clear? Now let us move on to question number 3. In question number 3, again 4 options are given to us and we have to identify which of them is different. If I look at option number 1, I can see this is a clear multiplication by 3. 50 into 3 will give me 150. Similarly, if I look at option number 3, this is multiplication by 3. 40 into 3 will give me 120. Similarly, if I look over here, 20 into 3 will give me 60. But over here, if I have to multiply 30 by 3, I will get 90 and not 80. So this is different. Rest, option number 1, 3 and 4 follow the same pattern. But option number 2 is different. Therefore, option number 2 will be the odd one out. Clear? Now let us look at question number 4. In question number 4, again 4 options are given to us and certain numbers are given to us. Each option has 2 numbers, so somehow they would be related. Now if I look at option number 1, if I cube 3 and add 1 into it and I divide it by 2. So this will be 27 plus 1 divided by 2. So this will be 28 divided by 2. This will give me 14. So what is the logic? If this is A, this is B. The logic is that A cube plus 1 divided by 2 is giving me B. This is the logic. Now let us check if this logic holds true for option number 2 as well. So option number 2, 5 cube plus 1 divided by 2. So 5 cube is 125. And if I add 1 into it, then it will be 126 by 2. This will be equal to 63. So it is correct for option number 2 as well. Now if I look over here, 7 cube plus 1 divided by 2. So 7 cube is how much? 7 cube is 343 and I add 1 and divided by 2. So I'll get 344 divided by 2. This will be 172. So this will be 172. So this is correct for option number 3 as well. This logic is correct for option number 1, 2 and 3. Now let us check for option number 4. So option number 4, 9 cube plus 1 divided by 2. 9 cube is 729 plus 1 divided by 2. So this will be 730 divided by 2. 2 times 2, 6, plus 1, 3, 6, and 5. So here I'll get 365. But over here we have 355. Therefore, this is not correct. So, option number 4 will be the odd one out because it does not follow the same logic as others. Clear? Now, let us look at question number 5. So, again, 4 options are given to us and they must be related in some way that we need to find out. Now, if I look at these numbers are perfect squares. So, if I take 225, its under root will be how much? 15. Correct? And if I add 14 into this, I'll get 29. Over here, if I see under root of 81 is equals to 9. And if I add 8 into it, I'll get 17. So, what did I do? If this is A, this is B. Basically, under root of B plus B minus 1 is giving me A. Correct? Under root of B plus B minus 1, so 1 digit smaller, is giving me A. So this holds true for option number 1 and option number 2. Now let us check for option number 3. For option number 3, this will be under root of 576, which is equals to 24. And if I add 23 into it, B minus 1, it will be 47. But these numbers are different. Now let us check over here. Under root of 256 will be equal to 16. And if I add 15 into it, I'll get 31. So this is correct for option number 4 as well. It is different only for option number 3. Therefore, option number 3 will be the correct answer to this question. Clear? Question number 6. Question number 6, again 4 options are given to us and we have to identify which of them is the odd one out. Over here, if I see 16 is basically square of 4. 49 is basically 7 square. 64 is basically 8 square. And 169 is basically 13 square. Correct? Let's say this is A and B. So basically I am saying that B is equal to A plus 1 square. In this particular case, it is 4 square and this is 3. So B is A plus 1 square. Similarly, over here B, if this is A, this is B in each case, I can say B is A plus 1 square. Correct? If I look over here again, B is A plus 1 square. But in this case, I can see B is A minus 1 square. So in these 3 cases, option number 1, option number 2 and option number 3, the logic was same, that B is equals to A plus 1 square. But in option number 4, the logic changed. B equals to A minus 1 square. Therefore, the correct answer will be option number 4. 9 is to 64. It should be 9 plus 1 square. That means 10 square. That means 100. It should be this for it to follow the same logic. Okay. Now let us look at question number 7. So again, two numbers in 4 options. So if I look at 12 and 9, I can see, if I look over here, this is a perfect cube. This is a perfect square. This is 3 square. This is 2 square. This is 5 square. But this number is not a square. Based on this, I can say this is different. But now let us see. So basically, if I do under root of 9 and I multiply it by 4. So that will be 3 into 4. It will give me 12. Similarly, if I do under root of 4 and I multiply it by 4. So it will be 2 into 4. That will give me 8. So if this is A, this is B, what I am doing is I am taking under root of B, multiplying it by 4 and I am getting A. Correct? Under root of B into 4 is giving me A. Here also I can see that under root of 25 into 4, that means 5 into 4 will give me 20. But in this is not a perfect square. So this option is definitely different. Hence our answer will be option number 3. Okay. Now let us move on to question number 8. Again 4 options and we have to identify the one that is different. Now if you look over here 43 and 84, I can see that 84 is double of 42. Similarly, this is double of 20, this is double of 11, and this is, if I divide it by 2, this is double of 105. So this one is definitely different, but now let us check. So if I do 43 minus 1 into 2, it will be 42 into 2, I'll get 84. Correct? Similarly, if I do 21 minus 1 into 2, so it will be 20 into 2, which will give me 40. Over here also, if I do 12 minus 1 into 2, so I'll get 11 into 2, that is equals to 22. But when I look over here and do 15 minus 1 into 2, it will give me 14 into 2, that is equals to 28. So this number and this number is very different from each other. Correct? In rest of cases, if this is A, this is B, I was doing A minus 1 into 2 was giving me B. Correct? This was the logic. A minus 1 into 2 was giving me B. But this is not correct for option number 3. Therefore, option number 3 will be the correct answer. Clear? Now, let us look at question number 9. So, again, 4 options. One of them is the odd one out. In question number 9, if I look at, let's say this one. So, I can see the difference is 8. Here, I can see the difference is how much? The difference is 14. And here I can see the difference is how much? The difference is 16. And here the difference is how much? If I subtract 62 and 48, this will be 5, this will be 14. So here also this difference is 14. Now if I look over here, I can say that 32 plus 32 divided by 4 is giving me 40. Because this is 8. Correct? So 32 plus 32 by 4, this is 8, this is giving me 40. Similarly, I can see 56 by 4. So this is equals to 14. Correct? This is equals to 70. Again, if I look over here, I can see that 64 plus 64 by 4. This will be how much? 1 and 6. This is giving me 80. But over here, if I do 48 plus 48 divided by 4, this will be equal to 12. This will give me 60 and not 62. Correct? So the logic was, if this is A and this is B, the logic was that A plus A divided by 4 was giving me B. Correct? And this logic was followed in option number 2, option number 3 and option number 4. But this logic is not being followed in option number 1. Therefore, option number 1 will be the correct answer. Okay? Now, let us move on to question number 10. In question number 10, again, 4 options are given to us and we have to identify which of them is different. So, here I can see again 224 is very close to 225. Similarly, this is close to 400. This is close to somewhat like 256, I can say. And this is close to, this one is close to 1156. These are the closest perfect squares. But over here, the difference is -1, the difference is -1, the difference is -1. But here we have a big difference. This is more than 1. So let us look at the logic. If I look at 16 and 224, so I can say that 16 minus 1 square will give me 15 square, which is equals to 225. And if I subtract 1 from it, I am getting 224. So if this is A, this is B, what I am doing is, I am taking A minus 1 square. Correct? And then I am subtracting 1 from it to get B. This is the logic. Now let us look over here. This will be 21 minus 1 square, which will be equal to 20 square. This will be 400. And if I reduce 1, I'll get 399. Correct? Now let us look over here. This will be 35 minus 1 square. So this will be 34 square. And 34 square is equals to 156. Sorry, 1156. And if I subtract 1, I'll get 1155. So this is correct for option number 3 as well. But if I look at over here, I'll get 17 minus 1 square. That will be 16 square. 16 square is 256. And if I reduce 1, I'll get 255 and not 238. These are different. So over here, option number 1, 2 and 3 followed this logic. But option number 4 did not follow this logic. Therefore, option number 4 is the odd one out. Clear? Now let us move on to question number 11. Question number 11, again 4 options are given to us and we have to identify which one is the correct one. Here, if you know, this is a cube. This 512 is 8 cube. Similarly, this is 12 cube. This is 20 cube. Okay. And this is actually 23 cube. 23. Yes, this is 23 cube. Okay. Now, if I look over here, how is this related to 14? So, basically, if I do cube root of 512, I'll get 8. And if I add 6 into it, I'll get 14. Correct? Now, if I look over here, if I do cube root of 1728, I'll get 12. And if I add how much? 10 over here, I'll get 22. If I do cube root of 8000, I'll get how much? 20. And if I add 18, I'll get 38. And if I do cube root of 12167, this will be 23. And if I add, how much should I add? Over here, we will subtracting it by 2. Over here also, we were subtracting it by 2. And over here also, we were subtracting it by 2. So, if I subtract by 2 and add 21, then I'll get 44 and not 46. So, this one is different. So, what is the logic? Basically, if this is A, this is B. So, if I do cube root of B, okay, and then what I'm adding? I am basically adding cube root of B minus 2. Then I'm getting A. Correct? This is what I'm getting. So first I did cube root of B, 512, I got 8. Then I added cube root of B minus 2. So 8 minus 2, 6. And this gave me A. Similarly, over here, cube root of B, 1728 gave me 12. And then I subtracted it by 2, added 10 into it, I got 22. Similarly over here, but over here that was not the case. Over here, this should have been 44. So this one is different. So option number 3 will be the correct answer to this question. Am I clear? Okay. Now let us look at question number 12. So again, 4 options and we have to identify which one is different. So if I look over here, I can see 4, 18, 25, 8, similarly 16 and 6 and 49 and 12. So over here, 16 and 6, under root of 16 is 4. And if I add 2 into it, I am getting 6. Similarly, under root of 49 is 7. And if I adding how much? 5 into it, I am getting 12. So this one minus 2 and this is also minus 2 from here. Now let me check over here. Under root of 25 is 5 and if I add 3 into it, so again minus 2, I am getting 8. So it should be the case in this also. So if I take under root of 4, I'll get 2. So I should add 0 because we are doing minus 2. So it will get 2. But over here we have 18. So this is different. So what was the logic? If this is A, this is B. The logic was under root of A plus under root of A minus 2. Okay, was giving me B. These are a little tricky logics. So please pay attention. So under root of A means under root of 49. Plus what I did was under root of A minus 2. So under root of A was 7. plus I did 5. So if I look over here, this is 49. Under root of 49 is 7. And this is 7 minus 2. That is 5. And it gave me 12. Okay. So this is the logic that is being used in option number 2, option number 3 and option number 4. But this is not the logic in option number 1. Therefore, option number 1 will be the correct answer. Clear? Now, let us look at question number 13. Question number 13, again 4 options are given and we have to find the odd one out. Just by looking at these numbers, I can say this is 5 square and this is 5 cube. Correct? Clearly, I can see this is 7 square and this is 7 cube. This is 6 square and this is 6 cube. Okay, but this is 9 square and this is 9 cube plus 1. 9 cube is what? 729 and we have added 1 into it to get 730. So in each of the cases in option number 1, 2 and 4, the first number was a square and the second number was the cube of the same number. So this was 5 square, 5 cube, 7 square, 7 cube and 6 square and 6 cube. But this one is different. So option number 3 will be the correct answer. Okay. Now let us look at question number 14. So in question number 14 again, certain options are given to us. I can see very clearly this is actually near to 64. This is very near to 144. This is near to 16 and this is near to 9. But over here, this is basically plus 2. But this is plus 1. This is plus 1. And this is plus 1. 16 is what? It is the square of 4. Similarly, 144 is square of 12. 64 is square of 8 and 9 is square of 3. So basically, if I call this A and I call this B, basically what I am doing is I am squaring A and I am subtracting 1 from it to get B. Correct? Squaring A. So 4 square minus 1. 16 minus 1 gave me 15. Similarly, 12 square minus 1. So 144 minus 1 gave me 143. So 3 square minus 1. That is 9 minus 1 gave me 8. Correct? This was the logic. But this logic is not being followed in option number 3. So it should be 8 square minus 1. That means 64 minus 1 should give me 63. But here we have 66. So this is not the same. Therefore, option number 3 is the correct answer. Clear? Now let us look at question number 15. So question number 15. If I look over here, 121 is square of 11. Similarly, 25 is square of 5. 49 is 7 square and 100 is 10 square. So if this is A and this is B, over here the relationship is A minus 1 square is giving me B. Correct? 12 minus 1, 11 square is giving me B. Similarly, over here also, if this is A, this is B, I can see A minus 1 square is giving me B. Correct? Over here also, if this is A, this is B, A minus 1 square is giving me B. So 7 square, 8 minus 1, 7 square is giving me B. But over here we have A plus 1 square is giving me B. How? 9 plus 1 is giving me B, that is 10. So over here we have a different formula. Over here for option number 1, 2 and 4, it was the same. But option number 3, it is different. Therefore, option number 3 will be the odd one out. Clear? So this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.